Hello, and welcome to the first episode of 001 Radio Weekly. I'm your host, Ryan, and today I'm joined by Ben
Hello.
and Young.
Hi.
For context, we're all college students currently going through the quarantine situation that the whole
It's a
world is
blast.
experiencing. So, welcome, guests.
Hello.
You happy to be
It's
here?
good
You
to be
excited?
here. Absolutely. I'm stoked. It's the most social interaction I've had in days.
That's expected.
Yeah.
How about you, Young?
It's been an interesting week. Interesting freaking quarantine.
Of
I'm
course.
stuck home. I can't do anything other than sit here and play games, and that's getting boring now.
Right. It's
Yep.
like the thing, usually that's all I want to do, but now I'm like, I just want to go, I want to go outside. I want to talk to my friends in real life.
I
Yeah.
can't go outside with. I can't go 2 feet out my door without getting sprayed in the face with Lysol.
That's true.
I went
that's
to
true.
I went to the grocery store the other day, and bought groceries, and then I got home and my parents were like, "Yo, all your clothes in the wash, take a shower." And I was like, "Okay, relax."
Oh, we'll get
But,
into these stories in a moment, but first
yeah.
we have a bit. Are you
We
two
have a
ready
bit.
for a bit?
I'm ready for a bit.
This bit's called fake news. And what we're
Everything's a
going to do, I'm going to give you guys 3 news articles. And I
Okay.
need you to tell me which one of the 3 is not a real news article.
Okay.
All right?
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. So, first news article. There was a man arrested for breaking social distancing rules by paddleboarding alone with nobody around. Second article. New unhinged PETA ad warns that once you put googly eyes on a banana, eating it is murder. Then our final article. Dr. Falke, sexiest man alive, gaining steam.
Um,
You
it's a
said
tough one.
you said only one.
Only one's fake, right?
Only
Yeah.
one is fake.
It's a tough one because as much as I'd like to say the PETA one, I believe it. And Falky is a very sexy man. I don't even know.
It's also important to note,
Young.
I do not read these articles. These are just
Oh,
headlines.
yeah, obviously.
So none of us are responsible if all of these are false.
I'm gonna say the PETA ad one's false here.
All right.
I think that's definitely. I think I'm gonna have to go with Young because I feel like r slash not the Onion or r slash the Onion.
Yeah,
it really
I'm
likes
going with-
PETA. It really likes
yeah.
the Onion likes hitting on PETA. So I think it's
Uh-huh.
gonna be PETA.
All right. You two are correct. The PETA ad is
Okay,
false.
yeah.
The PETA
I was
article
like,
The
is
the
not
Onion
false.
like an
really
onion.
likes to ream on PETA
That
because they do
really
have some ridiculous
sounded-
stuff. But
like an Onion title right there.
yeah,
Yeah, it was an Onion title.
right, exactly. Okay.
All right. We've cleared that. Any comments on the other 2 articles? How do you feel about a man getting arrested paddleboarding alone with no one around?
That's kind of ridiculous. But I guess it was
Here's
probably
the-
because he went to the beach, right?
Well, here's the thing though. He had to have been near the cops at one point. He got arrested.
Yeah, so I guess it can't necessarily be that nobody was around.
Well, so he went to the beach. I'm assuming that if you read the article, it would be like
Let's
he
find out some
actually
more
went to the
information.
beach and there was a bunch of people around.
Okay, so
Like-
some bonus information. This was at Malibu Pier.
Right. So it's
So-
yeah. It wasn't like he was out in the middle of some deserted lake town in his vacation house or something and he was paddleboarding. No, he went to like a pier and yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
So apparently, to get him in, they had to summon a patrol boat from Marina del Rey, and then the man swam to shore once it arrived.
Oh.
It took 30 to 40 minutes.
I'm not getting on your damn boat.
Wouldn't a better option just be the yell shark?
You know,
No, well that would have been a spicy meme. But
apparently it
probably
was
not
lifeguards
very-
that had to get deputies to come help.
By that point, just yell shark.
Dude, we just got crazy coronavirus people now.
we do.
All right. So now that we've done our
Corona
bit,
shark?
we're moving on to our first topic of discussion.
Okay.
What do you feel it's like being a college student and having to suddenly move to online everything?
I hate it. I hate it a lot. It feels like the second half of my junior year of college is just not. It's not. It's not.
It's just not there.
It's not. it sucks, honestly. But
Yeah, I think my opinions would mostly align with yours, especially because I'm in a major that requires a lot of group work
Yeah.
and a ton of collaboration.
and my motivation has, halved, if not thirded.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God, it's bad.
How about you, Young?
Sorry, repeat the question.
How is the switch to online treating you?
Not that bad, I guess. Like, I do take courses on this, so like do a lot of my stuff is already virtualized, so like it's no
Well-
different. It's just a motivation level, like mentioned beforehand.
Yeah, that's
But-
that's what my stuff's usually online too. It's not like
Well, like a lot of my core classes have been like more lenient, and like my core professor,
It's
my
just-
one professor, just legitimately hasn't barely responded to us. She'll send a video for the week and we'd be done. We
there's
have
just
one
there's something to be said about literally not having to go into class physically, making it a lot easier to cut corners and like mentally anyway, as like a mental block of like, oh, I'm gonna see the professor and they're gonna be disappointed. Well, I'm never gonna see the professor, so I don't.
Well, the other
Don't
big
care.
thing that we have to consider here is the new policies that Champlain has set into place for all these courses.
What the,
you can do pass fail.
Yeah, the pass fail. That's also in
exactly,
the
so,
back of
like-
my mind constantly, where it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly. So it's like, oh, do I really care enough for this class? And the thing is, you can choose your courses, which courses you want to be pass fail.
right
That's the best part.
at the end of the semester as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although there is one thing to mention with that is, so a lot of colleges
does
now are
lower
doing the
your
pass-fail
GPA.
thing.
No, it doesn't affect. It makes less of an impact.
So yeah,
Well,
if
then
you do
getting a
pass-fail, it
bad
does not
grade,
affect your
obviously.
GPA at all.
Oh,
Mhm.
shit.
But
It doesn't-
the downside is if you have any thing that requires you to be in good academic standing, such as a scholarship or like activity that you're doing, you can't do pass-fail. I don't know if there's a limit. It might just be you can't do more than one pass-fail. But because you're not getting a GPA, they can't say you're in good academic standing, so you can lose scholarships. And I think that's the one thing about this is that's a little bit sketchy.
Right.
Because I know
But-
MIT is doing the same thing, and they do not have anything like that.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird red tape with all of this.
Yeah.
And I know especially, so for context, all of us are juniors, so we're not in like our final year or anything and having any major issues. But colleges usually have capstone programs. And
Oh yeah.
the seniors right now are in a weird scenario of they're missing out all of their capstone shows, which is where a lot of them get their jobs. And they
Mhm.
can't do them anymore because the entire college is shut down. People are like home and not in dorms because basically everyone's been kicked out of the dorms unless you have a legitimate reason to stay. So I know, at least for me, I'm home. I know Ben is home. I don't, Young, what's your situation right now?
I'm home.
Yeah. So none of us have been able to do that, but I've heard that from people that have, that they do still really want to kick you out as fast as possible for liability reasons.
Oh, it really is just come down to circumstance. Like my one friend, he lives all the way in California, and they've already shut down the fucking whole state there. He can't go back.
Yeah.
He's safer in Vermont, for God's sake.
Yeah, you're talking about Victor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the only way for him to get home would to get on a plane.
And get connection
Which-
flights to every hotspot in the city.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Fucking-
Through the country, and then go home to people who are at more risk of dying from the virus. So it's like, let me just travel home to get the virus and then bring it home.
Yeah, I also think along with that is Champlain is one of the colleges that does their spring break about a week early than a lot of colleges, at least in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So what happened with us is that we were on spring break, and then halfway through spring break, we get the email that the school is shutting down for the next 3 weeks. And then recently they updated that to be the entire semester. So a lot of people were like are unable to go back and get their stuff because they hadn't planned for having a shutdown midway through their break where they might be in a different state or across the country.
You know what the best part about that announcement was?
What?
Teachers got the same exact email.
Yep.
They didn't know about it. No
Yep.
one did.
Yeah, it kind of blindsided everyone. And I mean, the global situation right now, that's kind of understandable to some degree of
Well, we were one of the I wouldn't say we were one of the very first, but like we were definitely in Vermont. We were the ones that to
Yeah.
jump the gun. Well, Middlebury was the first one, but we were ones that jumped the gun right after.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with Vermont being pretty sparsely populated and not having any cases at that time.
I mean, it still doesn't have many cases now, right?
Yeah, it does have
comparatively?
a few though. There was
Well,
an
yeah.
outbreak, I
Well-
believe, in Williston.
I mean, I know
Yeah, it was a Williston one. That's
there's
the big one.
definitely a lot of people that have it. I'm just saying there isn't like a lot of backup in hospital. Like, it's not super severe.
Yeah, so that's Vermont's situation. It's still seems to be operating mostly normally, unlike a lot of places. Although it is doing the whole
Well,
restaurants are
social
closed except for
distancing.
takeout.
Yeah. It's the
Gatherings
stay
are
at home.
limited.
Stay at home orders up, right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know if it's an order or an advisory.
Well,
Advisory,
yeah,
because a lot of my friends are still able to go out.
Yeah,
yeah. You can go out, but to like.
I mean, there's a difference between an advisory and an order. So
Yeah, yeah.
Massachusetts is also under an advisory, which is basically a strong suggestion, but they're not
Well,
going to
yeah.
arrest you if you go out.
Well, because you still gotta get your groceries, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, there are exceptions for that anyway, and stay-at-home
Yeah.
orders, but it's just a little
They,
bit of
I
a
heard
enforcement difference.
that Massachusetts was considering closing liquor stores.
I feel like the issue with that is alcoholics will actually just die
I mean,
if they don't have
if they don't die, they will be in a bad spot.
Yeah, because you
Certainly.
can have a seizure.
They'll be hospitalized, and you don't need more of that. So
Yeah, so a lot of people had a reaction when Massachusetts released their list of essential services. It's a big list. It includes a lot of things that people wouldn't necessarily deem essential, but at the same time, a lot of stuff that people would. One of those is liquor stores.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think the justification for liquor stores is that if someone is an alcoholic, if they don't get the alcohol, they will have withdrawal and possibly have a seizure and die because of that. So
Well, the other thing is, at least for now, when everyone's living in fear, one good thing to have near your side is a nice cold hard drink,
now we
which
know how
I
Yen is
cannot
coping.
have.
everybody would lose their minds.
I can't have any, sadly, because my dad doesn't leave any drinkable alcohol.
We
in
should
here.
also mention we are all over the age of 21.
21. We're not conniving.
Don't do underage
We're all
drinking.
juniors.
Yeah, we're above the age. So
Drink responsibly.
yeah, be responsible.
Ben,
What?
nothing. You're the one to say it out of the three of us.
Whatever.
Hey, he's
Anyway.
never passed out in a ditch, so we're good.
I have not passed out in a roadside
He's
ditch.
been close.
I
No.
really don't think he has.
I haven't. I've been fine.
The thought passed through my head.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
Well,
kind of
that's your head,
naturally
not mine.
rolling into our second topic of the night, which is how's everyone adapting to isolation and like quarantine?
Oh my god, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, I think we'd all agree with that.
I just.
I already lived with my fucking family for what,
It's
18 years, and now I have to come back
right.
and be
It's
like
really
all
strange.
over again.
It's a strange thing that's happening because I'm usually like really excited to like shut myself in my room and play video games and get away from people. But I think it's just been too long. And like right now is the time where I really want to hang out with people. And it's just like, now you can't, kid.
Yeah, I know definitely for
Yeah.
me. So my last semester was spent abroad where I was not with like my main friend group who was on the main
Right.
campus. So I still had friends there and I was doing a bunch of activities and stuff, but I was like pumped to be
But you
back
wanna
and
hang
like
with the
actually hanging
boys.
out with people
Yeah.
that are like my really good friends. And then this
Now
happens.
you can't.
So it's like this entire year just kind of vanished from my social life.
Boys,
sucks.
just think, no pho until we get
No
back.
pho.
Yeah, there's a pho place up by our college that is so good.
Ridiculous.
Okay and K.
I hope he does
Delicious.
okay, actually.
Are you guys going back? Are you guys going back up to get your stuff?
I mean, I don't think we
I'm
can right now. We're locked in
Fine,
the
like-
building.
I'll be able
I'm
to go
curious.
back
Do you
at
want
some
to plan
point.
it all and
this
plan it
summer.
at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably
and
will at some
just-
point.
I have everything I need to stay home.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
do
moving
I.
out. So
I have everything, but at the same time, so because I was abroad, I don't have the room
Yeah.
that I'm in for the full year.
well, that's the thing is
So
I don't need
have
to
it over
move
the
out.
summer. So I can't keep my stuff in the room over the summer, despite the fact that I'm going to be in the same room next year because of logistical
That's
things.
frustrating.
Yeah, so I don't know what that situation is going to be like because we have been ordered to not go back and get stuff if we haven't already gotten it.
They said in the email, I think recently, that it was like, oh, we'll update you on when you can go get your
Oh
shit.
yeah, they're gonna
They
have
said
dates
they would have
when's the
updates,
best to
so it's
go.
not like we can't go. But
Yeah.
as of right now, we don't have any information.
My hopeful guesstimate is that April 30th is going to roll around, right? Donald Trump is not going to make the stay-at-home advisory, like the national stay-at-home advisory. He's not going to extend that because he's already trying to stop it. And then Vermont, being the non-hot zone that it is, might lift their stay-at-home advisory. And that way, Champlain might be like, all right, now you guys can come back and get your stuff and leave. Those who are here for homesteading can come back and move in or something like that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Do you know why?
I'm pretty skeptical of that happening.
I'm skeptical, but that's the absolute earliest would be that.
The thing is,
But
that's
also
not
they could
logical,
just
though.
why?
You're gonna remove your state borders in a zone that's already slightly infected, now up to invitation for a new wave.
Well, I mean, the state borders aren't even a thing. You can just drive across borders like no big deal.
No, I understand that, but like logically thinking here, say that you quarantine New York. Yes, a decent amount of people.
Well, I don't know.
You would have
what's
huge
actually going to happen.
surge
It depends.
in these small communities.
I ate too much dinner really fast. My stomach hurts.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the concern is
I don't know
whether or not
if
things are
actually
getting
happen.
infected.
Well, there's going to be a second wave.
Well,
there's
absolutely,
no way we can do anything until we get a vaccine. There's going to be a second wave. But.
Yeah, it's just a question of how severe that's going to be.
Just not even just a vaccine. It's just people. Eventually, they'll freaking find it to their bodies, and then their body will fight it.
Herd immunity and the vaccine for those who aren't getting infected.
Yeah, I mean,
Flaking IRL.
Yeah, it's vaccine manufacturing is a process that takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, in reality,
I think they said
we
it's
don't
going to
really
be
know.
at least a year.
Yeah,
at the earliest.
We don't know.
Oh yeah.
How quickly this situation is going to be solved. I think we're all hoping it's solved by like midway through the summer, but
nope.
Reality is it probably won't be, and we don't really know how far that's going to go. Hopefully, it won't be affecting colleges that are rolling around in the fall semester. That, at least for us, would be the hope, but
I don't think it will.
Yeah, you can't guarantee.
I think on the tail end of the summer, it'll be to a point where things are slowing down anyway.
Yeah, so I can give a little more information because one of my parents is a professor at another college in Massachusetts, and they have plans for like 3 different scenarios. Their big one that seems most likely to them right now is moving to online for the next semester as well, which is like their worst case scenario plan. And then their other plans are basically slowly ramping up over the summer to be back to like normal capacity, assuming things are cleared up by then. Although this is a grad school, so they have to take things a little bit more seriously because people doing research, if something gets infected, then you lose like months of work. Whereas that's not really the scenario in a normal like bachelor college where it's just a 4-year program. But yeah, there's a lot of other factors going around. Yeah, that's our quarantine rants, I think.
I have a lot more I could say, but there's no.
Come on, Ben, let it out.
I'm okay.
This is a platform, Ben. Speak your mind.
No. I won't do it. I won't subject you to that.
Yeah, one thing I think a lot of us
I don't know. I was subject to it all of last semester.
Whatever.
Yeah. One thing I think a lot of us haven't touched on is how classes have changed. So I think for a lot of people that
jokes.
Yeah.
Except
in
for
some
one
cases.
class.
In some cases. So at least for me, I'm coming from a major that is super like collaboration dependent. And the move to online, luckily the class that was most concerned, like the one that has all the teams and doing teamwork and stuff, had a plan before spring break because our professor is really great and like wanted to make sure we knew what would happen if we weren't able to go back. So that class was sorted out and we just meet online instead of in person, and basically everything else is the same. All my other classes didn't really have plans, and I think that shows pretty clearly from the way things are going so far. That I have like one class that's still meeting every week just on Zoom, and then 3 other classes that are just not meeting and are doing projects or like alternative assignments. How many of your classes are? Do you guys have any classes that are still meeting weekly?
I have so a lot of my professors, so at least just for core specifically, we don't meet anymore. They just send out videos and or assignments, and that's it. My tech classes, um, a lot of the teachers have like during the class period there will be a Zoom call, like so you can connect and talk with the professor, but they're optional except for just one where he actually tries to teach us stuff, but it's been becoming hard because a lot of stuff has to be kind of taught on hand, and a lot of the he doesn't, he's a great professor. It's just that sometimes he describes a lot of topics in a very complex way that requires a lot of questioning, and he doesn't have time to sit there for an hour and 15 minutes. So usually kids will do it at the end, or like at the end of class, but he's on a very limited schedule being the director of forensics, and it kind of just is just a really bad class in general right now for a lot of us.
Yeah. How about you, Ben?
I'm sorry, I zoned out all the way gone.
Jesus Christ.
How many are any of your classes online, and how are they working out?
Negative. No, I have not. I don't meet for any of my classes.
That sounds horrible.
I mean, it's miserable because now I genuinely have no schedule. I go to bed at 3 a.m. and I wake up at noon at the earliest, and I'm like, what day is it? Do I have any homework? I don't know because half of my classes aren't even posting to Canvas still. So I go on there and I'm like, I fumble around for like 45 minutes to find if I have any homework to do for that day. And then by that point, it's 4 o'clock. I'm on coffee cup number 3 because there's nothing else to do with my day. So I just drink coffee. And then, it rolls around at like 6 and I get started on my homework again. And thus I'm up till 3 a.m. doing homework and playing video games. And the cycle repeats. It's not good. It's really bad for my sleep schedule, and it's really bad for my just every kind of scheduling possible because I just lose track of the days.
Yeah, I know that I personally would much prefer if my classes were still meeting on Zoom, all of them, instead of just having. I mean, for certain classes, it kind of works. So, like, for example, this podcast is actually a project for a course, and that works as a nice way to do like a weekly thing that is still scheduled, but is like a different thing. But my other classes are just doing a bunch of mishmashes of work that it generally would be a lot more, nice to have that normal scheduled period that you plan out at the start of the semester that you kind of work around, have that still be in your schedule instead of having to have like extra assignments every week. I think that's generally a much more fun experience. And also like social interaction, it's kind of non-existent right now. and it's nice to be able to like talk to other people. Yeah, I feel like that's a big part of it, is it's really weird suddenly having no contact with any people outside of like your immediate group of people that you might talk with on Discord, or like your parents if you're staying at home, or the roommates if you have roommates. Like they're the only people you're seeing now.
Well, I think our friend Jack Gleason, Jack put it into very good perspective. Well, Jack's brother, I should say. I'm tired of talking and seeing the same 4 people every single day.
Yeah, it's like nice to have some variance. And it's like a lot of people have friends that are like not super great friends, but you'll see them in the hallway, like at work or at your school, and you'll be like, "Oh, hey, how's your life been?" And you'll catch up for like a minute, and then go your separate distance until the next week when you eventually meet randomly again. That's kind of nice to just know that there are people that know you that you don't speak to on a regular basis, and you don't really get that when everyone is just separated like this. You don't have experience
Seeing someone else's like just living and breathing, not on a screen in front of you. It's different, man. It's different.
It's a different.
I'm starting to lose my mind. I really am. I'm starting to appreciate life for what it is. It's like my eyes have been opened
anymore and what isn't.
Seriously, I feel like my computer is my everything now. It's like.
I mean, yeah, that also goes into one other thing, that with at least me for work, I like to have separate spaces from like where I work and where I do other stuff.
I can't now.
And now that's just not possible, like because of my living situation with where everything is and the fact that I need to have a certain setup for doing work. The only place that can accommodate that is my room, which means I'm now sleeping, working, and doing other things all in the same room, which I personally just hate. Like, I would much prefer
How many
still
shades
having
of
access
paint
to
do
like
you have in your
labs.
room now, Ryan?
What?
How many shades of paint have you not noticed but now have?
I just have beige walls that are really bothering me because all my posters are up in my dorm. So
Oh no!
they're just there. Like there's nothing here.
My dog's losing his mind though. He's developing some severe separation anxiety because we're all home all the time. So whenever we leave, like even the room, he will follow us. And he's got to check on everybody constantly. So he'll come into my room, check on me for like 5 minutes, and then get up, go find my dad. And then he'll hang out there for like 5 minutes, get up, go find my mom. And then he'll come back to me. And then it's
Yeah, my
the
dog
poor
is
dog.
definitely doing the same thing. I'll go
Riley,
in-
why are you
even-
freaking out?
he doesn't even go outside unless somebody goes out with him anymore.
Yeah. Although I think my dog really enjoys it. She likes having people around, and
Yeah,
that was just
no.
people constantly.
No, I mean, my dog likes it too. But it's going to be a problem when we all have to go back to our daily lives. And he's like, where did everybody go?
where do my people go?
They're around
Human,
so much.
where?
Yeah.
Human.
I guess we're moving on now to how are you, like, what are you doing for fun in this quarantine scenario? How's your
Same thing as always.
not work life?
Risk of rain, baby.
Video games, brother. I don't know. I'm trying to start cooking a little bit more too. But other than that, it's just video games and coffee
Yeah.
and water.
Yeah,
Speaking
so
of
I've been playing
coffee,
video
I know I
games.
sent this to one of our Snapchat groups, but I don't think Young saw it. There was alcoholic lattes at the store the other
I
day.
mean, that sounds horrid. I
I don't
say
want
that, but I'm the kind of person that
But,
likes a stout, which is a coffee
mean,
flavor.
right. So I
What
was
you
thinking if
only
it
drink at Archives was terrible.
that
and
was
you
disgusting.
Finished it.
Dude, it was pretty good. It was super strong.
I couldn't
You
even.
and I
finished it.
would not order it again.
How?
But
But what I'm saying is this: if it had like a Bailey's in it or something, like a coffee liquor
Yeah.
or like a chocolate liquor, it could be okay. But I just don't know why you would put alcohol in your coffee anyway.
I
It's
mean,
like it's
I've
supposed
heard
to wake me up,
works
not
well
knock me
together,
out.
but
It's
not
just
sure.
making the coffee more bitter and taste like menthol.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing more drink mixing and like some cooking. Made some bomb chicken tendies today that were
Nice.
really good with my mother, which is something nice because we don't normally get to do that. It's kind of nice to be able to do that and just
I bought
relax for a little while.
I bought some tenderloin at the store the other day. I'm gonna make a steak dinner probably tomorrow or the next day. I don't know.
See, here's my issue. As much as I would love to cook and I want to keep practicing, my dad is my dad. We own a
Yeah, well,
restaurant.
That's
My
the problem.
dad
He's not gonna
is-
let you.
It's either I cook it my way and I like it, or you cook it your way and you're the only one fucking eating it.
Yeah.
So I have no choice.
Right.
Yeah, I've also personally found I tend to adapt to like a 2 meal a day schedule when I'm not.
Well, I've
a
always done
normal
that because
situation.
I always sleep pretty late.
I tend to do breakfast and then skip lunch and eat dinner.
I don't do breakfast, so.
I
really
have
not-
to have breakfast
don't
if
eat
I'm getting up
breakfast
in the
much.
morning, or else I'm just not productive.
Oh boy.
I'm not awake. It sounds like you're not awake.
I'm not, dude.
Whenever has been awake.
That's a great question.
I just had a cup of coffee too.
So you all
We-
said
we
you play
established
games.
this.
What games have you been playing recently? What's your games of choice?
Mountain Blade, Bannerlord has been a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, that just released like less than a week ago, I think.
Less than a week ago, and I already have like an absurd amount of time in it. Hold on, I have 26 hours played. I did leave it on one day when I went to the grocery store. I will say that. So that was like an extra hour or two, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, an hour or two out of 26.
Right.
Yeah, I know for me, I've been going to Animal Crossing, released at a really good
The
time.
old Animal Crossing. What?
And that quarantine happened, and then Animal Crossing is just there to warm your heart and give you some fake social interaction with fake animals that can maybe replace real people. So that's been fun. And then Path of Exile, my go-to relaxation game with a lot of numbers in it. All good. You're just like muttering over there. Just
I said Talamoana Warrior.
salutations.
I gotta start playing.
Yeah, New League's fun. New League's fun. How about you, Young? What's your distraction?
As of right now, definitely games.
Right, but what game?
Oh,
What's your
what
poison?
game specifically?
What's your poison?
League of Legos. Wow,
League of
Legends.
Legos, my favorite game.
I'd play that.
Probably Modern Warfare as of recently, and Tarkov, and Sea of Thieves. Can't forget the good old Sea of
yeah.
Thieves.
Yar,
No, I picked up Game Pass, and that has been a good purchase for just random diving into weird games that I would never have played otherwise. With this weird pinball game called Demon's Tilt. It's just a weird pinball game, and it's a lot of fun. I would never have played that otherwise. It's an interesting world we live in right now.
It is. Playing weird stuff.
Surviving in weird ways.
Is my oh, come on. No.
So we've had a good time talking so far about some quarantine scenarios, some quarantine life. So now we're going to this nice little final section. All right, gonna be some shout outs.
The final countdown.
It's shout outs, and what I want to do for shout outs is everyone's gonna say one thing they want to shout out and then why, and it can be anything. It can be something bad, it can be something good, it can be something fun. Just shout it out and tell us why you're shouting it out. Go, Ben. Shout out something.
Whoa. You're going to make me go first?
Yeah, I'm making you go first.
I'd like to shout out to Fraps and ice cream melted up in a slushy for
What?
for
Wait, ice cream and a slushy mixed? Wait,
Listen to me.
Hold
let
on.
me finish. For dumping on my keyboard the other day and making me wash it in the sink.
I knew that story was going to have a turn at the end. It couldn't just be nice, having a nice ice cream frap.
No, yeah. I dumped a frap on my keyboard and I washed my keyboard on the sink and it actually is perfectly fine now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I know, it's really impressive.
Did you leave it out overnight to dry, or did you just like...
Yeah, I left it out
Alright.
overnight, upside down, with a fan blowing on it. So
The classic. And I'm going to shout out the fact that Animal Crossing lets you plug a keyboard into your Switch, so you can then type and send messages to everyone with an actual keyboard plugged into your Switch, which is weird. It's a strange experience. And there's a character limit that's like 20 characters, so you can only say like half sentences. But it's pretty relaxing and a fun experience. There you go, Animal Crossing, for having the capability to plug in a keyboard. How about you, Young?
Thanks, Animal Crossing.
What would I want to shout out here?
You've had some time to think about it, so I would hope you have something.
Right, you better.
Okay, all right.
You
I would have
criminal.
to shout out Sea of Thieves.
What?
It's been my go-to, relaxing, non-need to I don't have to think. I just do. It's kind of like your Path of Exile or your Risk of Rain.
Yeah,
you don't think about it anymore.
Something to take your mind off of
your
whatever you're
autopilot
doing.
video game.
Listen to a podcast, watch a TV show, play some weird games in the other
Autopilot.
monitor.
Affirmative.
At our bougie setups here. By bougie, I mean laptop.
Just I have two monitors.
Laptop plugged into a monitor. Good scenario. That's this week's podcast. I'm going to say thanks to everyone for
It was a
tuning
blast.
in. The 001 Radio, episode number 1 of the
Stay
weekly
safe, stay
talk show
healthy.
podcast. That we have another, this channel has other content on it. We have like 3 videos of some weird Toradora stuff that may eventually resume at some point in the future. We don't know. Might happen, might not. There'll be more stuff next week, and probably the week after that, and maybe the week after that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. You guys got anything you want to say before you leave?
No, Stay healthy.
Stay
healthy,
happy.
stay
healthy.
inside.
Yeah, stay inside too.
What's the
The
corner of
stay at
happy and
home
healthy?
advisory is
that
there for a
Hannaford's?
reason. You know what, before we go, we should say we have someone in this chat who probably had the coronavirus.
Oh yeah,
Almost guaranteedly. Ben,
guaranteedly.
you were in
son of a-
contact with someone who
I definitely
did get
did.
tested and have it.
But Jocelyn never came back positive.
They come back negative all the time. I've literally battled Brandon and you now. I'm not doing this anymore.
They do come back negative quite often. And
there has been a wave of tests that have come back negative.
yeah. So the
All I'm
basic
saying-
gist of the story is Ben went on a cruise over spring break, and one of his roommates got the coronavirus and got tested and it came back
Literally
positive.
had the coronavirus.
Yeah, we're not joking. And then he got mildly sick. And didn't
and I
they?
had some symptoms.
I believe when your friend went to get tested, they told him to anyone else that he was in contact with that had it or had symptoms to just not get tested and assume they have it because of the
Right.
lack of tests being available right now. That might have changed over the past couple of weeks. So there's more tests available now, but
Yeah, but still.
at this point in time, it was pretty bad. So yeah, it's a legitimate risk. Stay safe out there. I believe there was the lowest death now was a 12-year-old, which is
No,
you
they
know?
had some like babies or something.
yeah. I
That's
mean, it's rough. So don't go outside unless
It's
you
rough,
really,
but also
really need
don't-
to.
Don't
But-
be stupid.
Your mental health slip because of it. It's not that bad. Like it's not a death sentence. I know some people are really worrying like that to the point where it's like, if I get this virus, I'm just going to die.
Yeah, I mean, don't
It's
freak
not
out about
bad.
it. Just adapt
Stay
to
home.
having to
Just
stay
stay
at home.
home. Just
Wash your hands.
stay home. And when you leave, wash your hands and cover your mouth with something.
Maybe
mask,
skip out that trip
some
to
cloth.
the GameStop, which are all closed anyway now. But maybe skip that
Yeah.
trip out. You know.
Nah,
When
you
you
don't need
leave-
that game.
When you leave, go to the grocery store, go home. Wash your hands. Dump those groceries in a bleach bath. Suck it up. There you go. That's
That's
my,
a good note to end
final
on. I
words.
think.
Yeah.
Stick those grocery bags in a bleach bath and suck it up.
Suck it up. Suck it up.
Don't get the coronavirus.
Don't do it.
See
2020.
you next week, everybody.
See you next week.